Hi everybody, I hope you're well. Today I will read from a book titled Checked Baggage 3264 Prohibited Items by Christien Meindertsma, published by Post Books. Hans Bouteiller wrote, "This book is bursting with significance. It is the reproduction of objects confiscated at Schiphol in a single week." Purchased for a couple of €100 by Christien Meindertsma, who intuitively sensed their significance and little by little has been able to expose it. She laid out and examined the 3,264 objects. Searching for the categories was the most difficult, she explained to me. Day after day, picking up, examining, arranging, and becoming more and more consumed by the unreal significance that these objects had taken on. It is possible to imagine a personal story behind each one, commonplace objects that were fished out of the hand luggage by security because they posed a potential threat. Christien photographed them and made this book. She showed me the result and I found it staggering. A display card of objects, guilty objects, after all, they were confiscated. It is the harvest from 1 week of baggage checks on more than 600,000 passengers. Guilty, innocent objects. As a result of the clinical reproduction, they assume a human dimension. The ordered ranks of corkscrews, the pen knives with and without text. One of the knives displays the text, "Making safety happen." It was no use, confiscated. Arrayed in ranks, they are the supposed soldiers of skyjacking and terrorism. Did you know that there were so many different, but at the same time similar corkscrews? Alongside each other, they prove to be different. They display their individuality more than their uniformity. With a point, depression or bump, they lead their own lives under the same name. This also applies to the scissors, the spoons, the nail clippers, army knives intended to defend the country, but even so now confiscated. After all, knives can be used for or against. The innocent object is seen as a threat. We do not know what the owner was planning. Or actually, we do. Nothing. The owner had no other plan than to transport the object, together with all of the other objects, from one place to the other. But there is the tiniest chance that the object was hidden in the hand baggage for a malicious purpose. After all, what is a weapon? A pistol, that is a weapon. So is a butterfly knife. A penknife can also be used in such a way, but this also applies to a kitchen knife. So all knives, but then other sharp objects as well, tweezers and nail clippers. And the fork? The fork as well, even a child's fork. 5 minutes before leaving for the airport, I will take Kate's knife and fork. Then maybe it will be easier to get her to eat. Or should we take a bottle opener after all? Or maybe this could be hard. I'm not leaving without my army knife. They let me take it with me when I was discharged in 1972. Do you remember? Or, okay, you can take your toy pistol. Minor stories which were abruptly cut short by the security officer. There is nothing in the instructions about personal stories or emotional value. The personal significance is overruled by a much more important story. The objects are listed in the register of the threat from hijackers and terrorists. And with them, temporarily, the owners who probably didn't know they were doing anything wrong. It is the cast iron logic of the permanent potential threat. It is the logic of fear, the logic of a world that is living on its nerves. Tens of thousands of aircraft movements, millions of passengers a day, a world that is bursting with vitality. The centrifugal force of technological progress whirls around us. We whoosh into the air and land thousands of kilometers away without bags, backpacks, suitcases, and trolleys. On a visit to a long-lost nephew, on the way to a negotiating table and the conferences, to the nature parks and decadent resorts. An effervescent existence found guilty by security personnel. They perform a ritual. Is it a play out of control? "We are just actors," said one of the security guards to Christien. They certainly are, but it is a deadly serious play in which they perform their roles. A play about the tension between vitality and safety, about the craving for maximum freedom in conditions of maximum safety. We wanted both, and that leads to absurd scenes. We don't let anything get in our way, but we are petrified that that applies to everyone else. After all, terrorists do not choose victims, they make victims. It doesn't matter who. Terrorism sows fear for the sake of fear, and with success. We live in the knowledge that we are innocent, but not neutral in the eyes of the perpetrators of attacks. We are members of a virtual opposition without organization or head office. We are potential victims. But just as we can all become a victim, we can also be a potential perpetrator. If the victims are arbitrary, then the perpetrators are as well. The vitality of the security culture generates boundlessness and restrictions, exuberance and protection, thrill-seeking and risk management. And so, darts and souvenir spears, scissors and screwdrivers from IKEA, Leatherman tools and imitation Leatherman tools are confiscated. Baggage checked. Christien is also the author of the well-loved Pig 05049. Ask for both books at your local bookstore. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.